welcome to the Hat Trick Podcast episode with Mike and Leo. So Leo, you want to introduce our special guest, don't you?
Yes, I do, Michael. Guys, we have a very special guest on today, folks. We have Franco Naccarato, which is Michael's brother.
Yeah.
Franco. Guys, for those that know Franco and for those that don't, Franco's a huge Young and the Restless fan. So if you don't know what Young and the Restless is, you're gonna find out today, folks. It's one of the longest running television shows ever. He's a huge pop fanatic. So for Britney Spears, all the stuff from the early 2000s, Franco's your man. And he's a huge mental health advocate, and he runs a lot of cool social media stuff to uplift people and just getting people just feeling good about themselves and just bringing their spirits up, because you know what, if sometimes people are in down spots, Franco's there to lift them up. He's a strong dude. He also works at the School of Business, which is at York University, which he graduated from 12 years ago. So now he's come full circle, folks. Everyone, let's welcome Franco to the show. Franco, what's going on?
It's a pleasure to be here.
Round of applause. Hey, that's my brother. Hey. That's my brother. Oh, okay. So, Franco, you recently converted from blonde hair to your regular brown hair. How do you feel?
Well, the reason why I did it is I feel people didn't take me seriously with lighter hair.
Yeah.
And I working at a university, 15 people who are 15 years younger than me, just starting university. I see them, and it's a bit, since I am 33 years old, it's I felt it's like an age thing. Sometimes I feel insecure about my age, and my age in comparison to even my colleagues who are 20-something millennials. Yeah. So
you're technically a millennial too, though.
Yeah, you're with us, buddy.
You're with us, Frank. And the most important thing is that you look young and that you're young at heart.
Yeah. Dude, you look younger than Michael. I don't know,
I get that a lot.
God damn it, I always get that. Everybody's like, who's the younger brother? I'm like, Franco's 9 years older than me, for God's sake. He's 10 years older than me.
Bruh, have you seen his skin? Look at that.
What are you trying to say about my skin, Leo?
Bro, it looks like you went through a mill or something, man. What's going on? You gotta get some lotion or some shit. I don't know what's going on over there, buddy.
So you got the table separating us, Leo. Don't make me go over there. Listen. So now that Franco's went brown hair, there's that saying, once you go black, you never go back.
Yes.
Once you go brown, you never go down. So with that... So with going down, let's get down with our first topic.
I can't deal.
So wait, we might have some new listeners to this episode. So I just wanted to go in a very brief synopsis of the show. Since Franco was the guest, he put in 3 topics. I put in 1 topic. Leo put in 1 topic. So there's definite chance that one of Franco's topics is going to get picked. After these 3 topics that we pick, there's going to be a special lightning round. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to ask you some very silly questions, Franco. Are you ready for this?
Ready, Freddy.
Okay, Frankie.
Also,
okay.
if we draw all of Franco's topics, that's a hat trick.
I think that's our one sports. That's our one part of the episodes.
Yeah. So it's completely random. We just look somewhere else. We just draw out of a hat. But yeah, so it's completely random. But chances are, odds are in Franco's favor of drawing one of his topics. Let's see what's going on.
All right. Okay, I'm drawing 1 topic. Okay, this is yours, Franco. Holy shit, it's a lot of writing. Has it become more acceptable for men to be fashion conscious without the presumption of sexual orientation? Very interesting topic.
That's very...
Okay, so has it become more acceptable for men to be more fashion conscious without the... I would say so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say, pretty much for the most part, it's actually a lot... Men should be more fashion conscious, right? It's become a really big lexicon thing. I don't know, what's your opinion of guys who wear suits without any socks?
I think that's a cool trend. It's very summer. It's a very summer vibe. Like you mean like the flood type of pants with no socks kind of thing. Yeah. It's very much like a summer thing. But in terms of let's say men's menswear, you ever seen that brand that's on Instagram? You've probably seen it, that whole Fashion Nova line.
Yeah.
You see that
Yeah.
stuff like everywhere, but they're very like they have the Fashion Nova men's line, right?
Oh, they do? Okay.
Yeah, so now there's like the men's line, and they're just trying to push like all this cool, trendy, like trendy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Franco, what's your take on it?
Well, personally, I've noticed that, whenever I get my haircut, like today, I posted on Instagram my new haircut and my new dark hair, and at least maybe 3-4 actors like my post from The Young and the Restless.
Oh, actually? Yo, that's
Yes.
sick.
That's cool.
Yes, up to 10 of them follow me back on Instagram, and they often like my posts, so it's flattering. Someone told me a theory that men in the public eye, whether they're in theater or whatever, different celebrities, play for both teams. I don't know if that's true. I think maybe some of them have that tendency. So they have, like, if you think about it, like if you're well groomed, if you pay attention to your looks, you're sort of known as being gay. So of course they're in an industry where youth is valued, looks are valued over everything else, possibly. So I guess like the question, like, do the lines get blurred?
It's a very interesting take because it's, I mean, I like to try to dress, like somewhat decently. I don't.
Yeah.
As we're recording this
No,
podcast,
you have a pretty like general overall good sense. I would say fashion sense.
it's.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's like kind of mediocre. I usually just wear a lot of just jeans and a shirt.
Fair, yeah.
You know what I mean? But if there's an excuse to wear a suit,
Oh
I
yeah.
love wearing suits.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm just trying to remember like the core thing of the question. Just trying to like.
So like
correlate-
I'm just gonna say like again just
because
it was a bit of a long
it's
one.
pretty. It's a pretty dense question.
Has it become more acceptable for men to be fashion
Yes.
conscious without the presumption of
I think
sexual
so. Yeah, no,
orientation?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I
Well,
mean,
it's good to
it's
look good.
good,
Now.
yeah.
Like it's kind of like if you have a beard, you have to line the beard and everything. Frankly, you don't have a beard yourself, but
No, I don't.
no, but I think like
for the
with regards to sexual
looking,
orientation,
just looking good for the sake of looking good. Like,
Yeah.
if you walk in, you're trying to get a job, and you're dressed like a slob, compared to someone that's groomed well or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's that's just your fashion sense. Like.
But I feel like the nature of how men act towards other men, is that being redefined in our society with fashion, with hair trends?
I kind of see what you're saying. Like, are you saying like men are becoming more open with other men in a way?
Yes, like not through like just liking a post on photo sharing social media sites, but like it used to be back in high school, if there was
high
a
school
gay,
for you, yeah.
not necessarily high school for me, but like portrayed in popular culture, if there's a obviously gay male student and they have a straight male student, well, the straight male student is gonna feel like, if I befriend this guy, is everyone gonna think I'm gay, and am I gonna be outcast?
Oh, okay. I know what you're saying, and that's more so from like I guess like a TV perspective, right? Or is that
No,
what
it could be in
like
reality as
too?
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think like I think just in terms of like what fashion is going, like I think it's just the way like fashion trends are going, whatever. It's just there's people that definitely follow like different archetypes, if that makes sense. Like some people are just fashionably conscious of stuff. Like people just know how to just dress well, and people just don't.
But I mean, is the notion of masculinity being redefined as well?
Yeah, I would say so.
I think it's over just the course of time.
I kind of see what you're saying. So you're like your basic question is kind of revolved around fashion, but it's more so what the fashion means, kind of.
What the fashion means, different concepts that
Yeah, well, I think masculinity is definitely being redefined, and the way you dress, I don't think it's like, because like for example, like my friend, my friend Nick, he's gonna really hate this. So we went to an '80s dance. Me and him, and Lisa actually. So I dressed up as Marty McFly, and he dressed up as like a workout kind of like enthusiast kind of thing.
Oh my!
So he had a lot of bright colors. So one woman, very intoxicated, said, "Are you gay?" And I'm like, "Oh God," because that's kind of a bit of the stereotype, right? If you wear colorful colors, you know, especially if you're in the theater scene or in the art scene, you kind of depicted as gay, which I kind of see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, like, for example, like me and you, Franco, went to Pride, and I had a Pride shirt on. You had, what was your shirt that you wore? What was it? What did it say on it? Love is something. Love is. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. But you had a
love
nice,
is love, I think.
Love is love. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Something like that. So even though I'm straight, and if you're gay, Franco, it doesn't. I think you could still, you're entitled to what you want to wear.
Just whatever, just whatever you want to wear, man.
Yeah.
That's, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like colored clothing shouldn't, you know, dictate that. I mean, it's just, I think it's just we've subliminally been programmed that that, let's say, like hetero people, like before, like because like, let's say the LGBT community has like the rainbow flag, right?
Mm-hmm.
All like, you know, like bright colors. And then, and like other, and like say, like even just from like a media perspective, like TV shows, like as you were saying, like the like straight characters, whatever, like they predominantly wear just like grays and shades, very muted colors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I think that echoes in with what Michael was saying about Nick's like story, where he's wearing, I'm assuming, a lot of neon.
Yes.
Was it neon?
Yeah.
So neon, something that's like, you know, it's bright and it's like,
yeah, he was going for like the '80s kind of look.
80, yeah. So that's probably why you got prompted that question, and that's just subliminal programming. Are we reaching a point now where things are kind of like switching around, or like, you know, like kind of getting blended? I mean, I think so. I mean, I hope so.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't want to be restricted to like wearing like just muted colors all the time. Like, I think that's stupid.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Like, I just came back from Uniqlo. Actually, I was just
Uniqlo.
So Uniqlo
What's
is a Japanese designer store, and
Oh.
they opened up a few locations here, and there's one that's opening up, I think, Square One, and
really?
yeah. I don't know if it's open or it's opening, but it started up in Eden Center. They opened up at one in Yorkdale, so they had a grand opening today at
nice.
Vaughan Mills. So it's I went there with my brother just earlier today, and I'm like, they got some like cool. It's my favorite store to shop. I mean, I got this like top that I'm wearing now.
Good, man.
Yeah, it's just like it's
a nice like red V-neck top.
yeah, like it's inexpensive stuff, but the stuff that's there, it's a lot of you hardly see any like black clothing or gray clothing or any kind. It's more so like a lot of salmon colors, and you know, like all these different whatever.
Nice.
You know, and
Nice.
it's, you know, it's more like warm, and you know, it's Japanese, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know if the fashion there is more so catered towards like different like
Sexual
more,
orientations?
like just more brighter colors in general.
Yeah, sure.
Like when I went to, because I was in Italy last year, and you hardly saw anybody wearing blues or grays or any of that
dude,
stuff.
I love blue. I
Yeah.
love wearing blue.
But
And now
there-
the blue blazer is really uncommon.
yeah, that and there it was all about wearing white and very like yellows and like very, very bright colors. I think it's just stuff in just here in North America where mute colors and all that stuff is just, you know, it's kind of like saturated the market. It's just like, this is what you have to wear, kind of thing. And anything else other than that is it's just like, oh, like what's that? But now that influence is coming over, which is great.
Yes.
That, you know, you can like,
you can
like,
experiment more.
yeah, and you can wear that.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was kind of like, oh, like what's that? And now it's like, ooh, what's that? You know?
Yeah, well, like Franco,
Like-
how would you describe your fashion, like generally, like on a good day? Like, what would you wear?
Well, I try to dress to impress. You know, because I work now, I'm trying to, you know, dress in monochromatic colors, to be taken more seriously.
What does monochromatic mean? Oh,
Like
black and white.
whites, yes.
Oh,
And black
Yeah,
and
or
whites.
just one color instead of wearing bright colors like I usually have done in the last few years. I think when you dress, if you're a gentleman, you pay attention to your looks, and it like attracts like in that sense. So
You mean
what
like-
you project, like what you're in within yourself, you project onto others, and you attract what you desire, I feel.
Yeah, it's kind of funny you said like you try to go like more monochromatic, because predominantly all I wear is like monochromatic stuff, and now I'm trying to wear more just other colors,
Yeah.
like I'm trying to get more like reds, blues, and like just other colors into my like wardrobe, because you go to my wardrobe
Or just sticking to darker colors. For
yeah,
me.
Yeah.
For me it's like you
Yeah.
go into my wardrobe, it's like 1,001 black t-shirts,
Yeah,
and
I
then 3 red shirts and like 2 blue shirts. Like I could count them on like my hand. It's just like,
Yeah.
like
Oh, for me, I'm a big I like a lot of black T-shirts too, but I'm a big I like blues. I like blues. It's probably because I'm a big Leafs fan.
Yeah,
I think it's just like
embedded.
It's just embedded in me. I like blues. I like a lot of I have to watch the blue stuff. But no, and I kind of no, but I understand like the black and white kind of look. It looks a little bit more professional, but I think if maybe if you whatever you have is like nice and fitted and like looks really good on you, if it feels good on you, I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
I think confidence is the best thing you can wear, rather than
A smile is the best confidence. I
yeah,
feel.
yeah.
He's got it.
Yeah. So no, and you're a good looking dude, Franco. I liked your hair when it was blonde, but I like your hair a little more when it was brown. It's brown right now. I think it suits you a little bit more, but I still
Yeah.
think you're a really good looking dude, Franco.
Yeah,
I
you gave-
appreciate
yeah.
your honesty and
Yeah,
your
you
love.
cut it a little bit nice. It looks honestly it looks really
Yeah.
good, man. Like, you
Yeah.
cut it a little bit more shorter, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it's like fire,
So
man. It's good.
so we're gonna post a picture on our Hat Trick podcast Instagram. So we're gonna post a picture of you, Franco, so people can see it. People can follow you at Franco Nac 85. All right,
On Insta.
Instagram exactly. Okay, fantastic. All right, so Franco, we want to go on to the second topic.
All right, let's see.
Okay, that's a very deep question, Franco.
That was a
That's
good
just
way.
like-
that was a very solid way to start off. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Is that a Michael question? I feel like it's a Michael
Yeah.
question.
No, I think it's Franco. Oh, yeah.
Okay, the question is from Michael.
Oh, it is me.
What's the most awkward experience that you've ever had in your life?
I got one. Do you have one on top of your head?
My existence.
My existence.
No. I
got one. So you guys can think about it in the meantime.
God.
Okay, so this happened in high school, as all awkward things tend to happen in high school. I was waiting in line with, again, Nick, actually. I was going to see The Fighter. Didn't really matter what movie I was seeing, but I was in the movie theater. A bunch of high school people were in line with me, and I look back. I'm saying to Nick, I'm like, look, we're almost, the movie's about to start. I'm gonna wait in line. So you're gonna wait in line for the tickets. I'm gonna get the popcorn. So I look back and I see a girl that I really liked at the time. She was in my class. So I'm like, oh shit, I have to really try and be like, I have to impress, right? Or I have to not be an idiot. So like those dividers between the lines at the Cineplex or any kind of big line.
Yeah.
So I pulled one up, went underneath it, and I did a barrel roll. Do you know what a barrel roll is, Franco?
No.
Just picture a barrel rolling. And that's exactly what I did.
How did you fuck that up?
I don't know.
How did you fuck that up,
I don't know
Michael?
how I fucked it up. But I rolled. I got up. People were laughing. It was not good. I went to the Cineplex. I went to the popcorn line, and the guy's like, "Dude, are you high?" And I'm like, "Man, I wish." I fucking wish, because that was a really embarrassing moment for me, man. Have you ever done like a stupid thing in front of a crush or anything like that?
Not really.
Not really. You guys are fucking lucky.
I
I get tongue tied around mine.
Fair.
Yeah, no, I kind of trip over my own words too.
Yeah.
An awkward. I mean, I have another awkward it's not an awkward high school story, but it's pretty fucking funny.
All right.
So I was on my way to school. My dad was dropping me off, and then he's like, "All right, dude, have a good day at school, whatever." Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, no problem, Dad. And then afterwards, I met up with a couple of friends before class started. It's like, hey man, like you want to go like I got a text message like, hey, you want to go like skip today? And I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to skip. I don't want to do this shit today. Like I don't want to go to class, whatever.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I'm like, okay, I'll see you in like 5 minutes. I go downstairs, get on my shit, and go outside. As I'm walking like through the school, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like I look at my phone and I'm just like, okay, because I was gonna text a couple of my other buddies, and then I'm like, one of my dad called me, whatever, and then afterwards we're just walking down the street. Who pulls up around the corner? It's my fucking dad.
No.
Yeah. We're walking down the street of the school, and he pulls up. He's just like, Leo, do you not answer my phone calls? And I'm like, what? Get back and turn around and go to school.
Oh God! wait. Let me
literally-
ask you a question. Did he drive you?
He drove me.
So he drove you back? Oh,
No, he didn't drive me back. He watched me walk. He watched me walk. I didn't get far. I got like just like the outside of the school and just down the street.
Okay.
And then afterwards, he just walked. He just literally in the car, just following me. Made sure I walked back into.
That's even worse. He didn't even pick you up.
Just me and another buddy. We just walked and went into the school. And then afterwards, I listened to his voicemail.
Yeah.
And then I could have honestly, if I just waited inside like just 10 more minutes, none of this would have happened, because I listened to his voicemail after my first class ended, because I ended up going to school.
Yeah.
And his voicemails were like, "Hey Leo, like I see some of your friends hanging around outside. You better be going to class." Leo, and then after a second, he was like, "Leo, I'm gonna be turning around, and you better be in class. Oh, don't make me catch you outside." And he's literally sent me 2 voicemails to like say like to warn you this was gonna happen.
Oh,
and I ignored those messages.
My dad's the best.
And he walked me.
I just love how he didn't drive you. He just watched you.
Yeah.
And he drove along.
He was just like, he just drove beside me, and I'm just like,
You know what the best thing about that is?
what?
It's the best parenting lesson. It's not anger, it's disappointment.
I can't believe you tried to skip today. Just like, it was like
you didn't talk with him, right? Like when you were walking, you didn't really talk with him while I was in the car, right?
well, no, I was just
No, because that's when you get in your head. You're like, oh my God, my dad is so disappointed in me. I'm such a failure. And then it works. That's why he did it. That's why he did it.
For me, it was just like, he was just. I just remember just seeing his head, like he just turned around. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Go back to school." I'm like, "Dad, are you serious?" Like, "Yeah, what?" Like, I tried calling you, and I'm like, "Fuck."
So we mentioned Leo's dad a few times on the show, and I think probably Leo and Franco, you can probably vouch for me here. If you want to know what Leo's dad looks like, do you know Joey from Friends? Matt LeBlanc.
Matt LeBlanc, yes.
He's an old. He looks like Matt LeBlanc.
He used to get that actually all the time.
He still does. Your
He's
dad.
a-
Your dad still does. He looks like even like a better
And
version.
you, Leo, get Bruce Springsteen a
I
lot.
get Bruce.
I don't see the Bruce Springsteen.
I see the Bruce Springsteen. Even I see it. And I'm just like
The boss.
the ball. Yeah, Franco. And I'm like, I don't listen to much Bruce Springsteen, but hey, like, you know, I see some of these like older women.
Born in the USA.
Sometimes I'm like, if I'm serving like some of these older women, they come up to me, it's like, you know, you get like Bruce Springsteen. And I'm like, let me take you back to your youth. Not just. Somebody.
Is that a euphemism, Leo?
No, but it's funny because it's like. Like you said it, and like your mom said it, right? And then ever since you guys
My
like
aunts said
and your
that
aunts,
too.
yeah, like your whole family like said like he looks like Bruce Springsteen, he looks like Bruce Springsteen, and ever since that day, people have been coming up to me like intimately, like every now and then, and it's like, you know, you kind of look like a young Bruce Springsteen, and like they're all like women in like their 50s or whatever, and I'm like,
You know what that means?
sugar mama.
Got milk.
All right, that's one way.
Did
to
you say
that.
got milk or got MILF? Did you?
MILF.
Oh god. Oh my god! You said the other one. I'm like,
I don't
Christ.
use the other term.
Oh Holy shit.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. All right, so Franco, did you think of your most awkward moment?
I don't know if this is my most awkward moment, but since I'm put on the spot, I'm gonna say that I was taking English, like my major is English. I took it in my second year. I'm gonna describe my second year English class, my tutorial. And for, of course, being an English major, we had a lot to read. And for this class, we had to do at least one seminar presentation. And there was a student that was asking something about what the reading was going to be for this week, next week, or when the seminar presentations are being held. And the professor was British. And so he said, check the calendar, right? Oh, so when I got British annoyed accent. When someone in my class saying, oh, like when am I doing my presentation, or what do I have to read for next week? I got annoyed, and out loud I just said, check the calendar, like in a British accent. And nobody said anything.
They just accepted it, just like, oh fuck.
That's good. That's good. Have you ever had a awkward run-in with like mom or something? Maybe an awkward moment?
No comment.
No comment. All right. Maybe.
Well, I know you've had a few. No, with your.
Oh God, I didn't want to bring this up. All right, fuck it, I'm gonna bring it up. So, Franco,
because we have very similar stories.
Oh God, Franco, I'm so sorry. I didn't tell you this story for a reason, but I'm gonna tell you it now. So, a while ago, just put a while ago.
This might be new to me too. Let's see. Let's
I was in my car. I was driving my mom. My mom doesn't drive, so I'm the
designated driver
concierge
of the family.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm the concierge. Anyway, so in the back seat, I'm putting the carriage in the back, and my mom opens up her hands and shows me this thing. I had my glasses on, my sunglasses on. I look down at it, and it was a condom wrapper. So,
when was this?
His reaction. It was a while ago. So my mom didn't really say anything. The way she looked at me was, it's really hard to describe in audio, but she just looked kind of like she was laughing, but also like she was disappointed at the same time. Like almost like are you kidding me right now kind of thing.
It's like, here?
Yeah, here? Really?
When was this?
I'm not gonna say when, Franco. I have to not disclose that. So you said no comment for the mom thing. Come on, can I not have like no comment? I'm divulging information, Franco. Yeah. I'm divulging information.
This is real talk.
So thank God I have my sunglasses on. And I hate when people do this. People are like, when it's an awkward situation, people are like, this is awkward. I hate when people do that. But I was so embarrassed, so awkward. I'm like, this is awkward. so I was I had my sunglasses on, thank God, and I was driving. My aunt was in the front seat with me, and my mom's in the back. The whole time, I'm like, Jesus Christ! I was like smiling, like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. I can't believe it. Dad, you idiot, Michael. So that was my really embarrassing story and awkward story.
And this belonged to you.
Well, I fucking hope so.
I have a similar story. It's the first time my mom ever found my condoms.
Okay.
So I'm just brushing my teeth.
Okay.
And I'm a stupid kid. If you haven't figured,
Are you a stupid kid, Franco? No, you're smart. But give me a high five. Okay, you gave me a props. That's close.
Like, I'm a really dumb kid. And then I tell you why, folks. So, every guy's got their hiding place when they're like a young dude to put like, their rubbers or whatever.
I feel like I'm not going to like where this is leading.
No. It's fine. It's very PG. So mine, I used to put it in a shirt that I had a folded shirt. So basically imagine your drawer, right? Yep. Your drawer, and you got like your shirts. Mm-hmm. The very, very bottom, there used to be a shirt I never really wore. Mm-hmm. And I would just tuck the condoms in the folds of the shirt. So it's like there. So like you can see like, it's folded or whatever, but like they're buried in there, right?
would it be obvious to look at it?
No. So if you look at it, like, let's say you take the clothes out, you wouldn't even know. You just see the shirt,
Wow.
right?
Okay.
So I'm brushing my teeth. My mom brings me this shirt, and she's like, she has it folded in her hands. So I'm like, shit. And she looks at me. She's like, "Hey, do you ever wear this shirt?" As she unravels it, like she just holds it and unravels it, like all the condoms just fall to the floor, right?
God.
And she's holding the shirt like this. I'm like toothbrush in mouth, looking down at the condoms. She looks down at the condoms. She looks at me, and I'm just like, and she just kicks them over and just starts fucking laughing. And I'm just like,
You must have been mortified.
I'm just like, fucking hell. She's like, "You're so stupid." It's
okay.
Sorry, Ma.
Yeah, sorry, Mom. Mom, if you're listening, I'm so sorry.
Sorry, I'm taking precautions out there.
Sorry you don't have a kid yet, Mom.
Leo, you really know how to break the ice.
Listen. I'm too young. I'm too young.
Oh my God.
Okay, well, maybe on that.
I'm a child of God.
I'm a good boy.
All right, Leo. Do you want to go for the third topic?
Let's go for the third one. Let's
All
figure them out. I'm just feeling up this hat here. Let's see. I feel up this one.
That's what the condom is for.
This is a Franco one. I can feel it.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, you know what? Okay, I just saw the first little bit, and I figure like we kind of put a similar topic in. So I'm glad this one got chosen.
Okay.
How has social media redefined society? Certain concepts, politically correct terms, ideologies, cultures, etc. Another deep question, Franco. This is like a lot. We're recording this at like 12 midnight. My brain is being exercised to the max. To simplify and answer your question, a lot. Everything that's been introduced.
Can you repeat the question again? Sorry.
Right? It's dense.
Yeah.
So how has social media redefined society, certain concepts, politically correct terms, ideologies, cultures, and etc.? Like tenfold. With the introduction of social media, we've obviously just been more connected, right? And information is much more accessible than it has been at any point in time.
But what has that meant for interpersonal relationships?
Oh, did you write that? Oh, no, what is interpersonal relationships?
How are they how do they go hand in hand?
They go like if it's a tightly knitted knot. That's what I think. It's you're much more connected to people than you are that we were ever before. Is that in most ways that's a good thing, but in some ways there is like a little bit of a negative aspect to it. You know that term ignorance is bliss?
Yeah.
You know, like I think just knowing too much about something, like especially someone or whatever, that I mean it's good to know obviously like okay, this person's what they're about, like, but to the point where now you place this little judgment factor, I think now with social media, right? Because there's you have Facebook for your thoughts, or Twitter. You have like Twitter for your thoughts. You have your Instagram for your your visual, representation.
Photo sharing.
Yes, photo sharing and visual representation, right? And then afterwards, you have Facebook for like everything in between. So let's say across those three platforms, right? If someone's on all three of those platforms, you can really just grab an idea of what this person is without even actually just speaking with them face to face, right? And just judging their context, just basically what they've posted visually and what they've shared through text, and not understanding the context. Is that good or is it bad? Like it lies depending on how you are as a person. It really at least for myself, it's pretty crazy, like where we are right now. You know what I mean? But in some aspects, social media has been, I think, it's been pretty good. Like just connecting people. Like for the older generations, like my nonna, she's on Facebook, right? So she's able to connect with, let's say, her sisters that live, like far away. Like she has a sister that lives in Italy, so she's able to connect with her and communicate, right? Where before it used to just be by telephone, and you get charged like $1,001, right? Whatever the long distances and lines cut out and stuff like that. But has it brought us closer together? Yes, but I think it's brought us a little bit too close. That's my long
like,
spiel about
is
it.
the definition of narcissism being redefined? Because are we all basically narcissists for posting pictures of ourselves?
What's your opinion of it?
What do you think? Because I did a long-winded thing.
Everyone knows that I like my selfies. But the thing is, you may find this, people may find this odd about me. I'm glad that social media wasn't around when I was in high school. Because having said that, as I said before, I'm a huge fan of the Young and the Restless. A lot of the celebrities follow me back on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. And it's odd because some of them just recently followed, like in the last year or so. And I can't imagine my life like without social media before. It's kind of it's bittersweet, and I think that regarding celebrities, they're easily accessible. So celebrities, by definition, are more open to scrutiny, and things like that. And with the presence of like, oh, what are they doing? It does it open them up to predators like stalkers, or are people more vulnerable to violent crimes or sexual assault in light of the Me Too or Time's Up movement? It seems like social media has redefined a lot of stuff. And is it positive? Can I actually say it's positive? Not completely. And I think it's, as I said before, interpersonal relationships, texting, students that are in university are always like looking down on their phones, whereas that wasn't the case when I was there, and I was like 10, 11 years ago. It's eliminated like actual talking on the phone. So it's impacted a lot of things. And I think the youth are impacted the most, because when I was 23, like 10 years ago, it wasn't like Facebook was just starting out, like social media wasn't what it is today. So I think that we have to take that into consideration and remember what was good and is still good in society.
Okay.
Well said. Well put.
Yeah. So I guess you could say that social media is in a way a bad thing for you, or is it in a way a good thing? Like, how do you think it's actually, how has it affected your life, like more in depth, I guess?
It's twofold. Like, I like, connecting with people like that I've watched for years on The Young and the Restless again.
Yeah. What about like your friends and stuff like that? Like, does it help you with friends on a more personal level? Has it maybe drove you away a little bit more?
Well, the thing about that is, like, for Instagram, they show like a lot of pictures of maybe more fit guys than I am. And, of course, when I was still in school, there was problem with eating disorders, like before all of this technology. So girls would like watch.
No,
things.
I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at the eating disorders part.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like the way you're making it sound like before all this technology. Franco, you're 10 years older than us. You're not that much older than us. There's still a good amount of technology.
But like I said, I wasn't. I didn't have social media like in my teens, early 20s, like you guys did.
Yeah, I guess, but it was still a part of your life. It's not the same. Don't get me wrong. It's not the same, but yeah. Sorry, go on. Sorry.
Yeah. So what I was saying was, I was alluding to girls and striving to attain a body ideal, and they when they compare themselves to supermodels and they don't have that body type, there's body shaming. And I think that's more prevalent now with social media, for young men and young women.
Well, actually, I kind of disagree with you a little bit there. Actually, I think in a way, social media, while I think it's at times can be bad, I think in a way it's actually showed more diversity. So I think it's actually, rather than the media, let's just say CTV or CBS or whatever shows, they're mostly going to have white males or women portray lead anchors or lead actors in shows. Now with social media, everyone has their own platform, and that is based on followers, likes, that kind of things. Like us, me and Leah wouldn't have a platform without social media, I don't think. So I think it's really important. For instance, I was doing an assignment semi recently on the American Eagle, Aerie. So Aerie is a lingerie company by American Eagle. I really liked it because they had a lot of diversity in that program, in that campaign. I think it's called Real Beauty. I'm forgetting the name of it. It doesn't really matter, but they had a woman with an ostomy bag like me. They had a woman with MS. They had a woman with in a wheelchair. They had a few more diseases and that kind of thing.
I've seen that. It's like a bunch of women lined up, right? And and there's that picture. Yeah.
No, and it's good. I think it's a really good thing about social media. Actually, is that it's diversity. I think is celebrated in a way, while at the same time I think it's
a popularity contest.
Yeah, and that's that too. Like for instance, like okay, how much likes do you have? Or how many follows do you have? And that's not a good way of looking at things, really.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's numerical, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can put a number to, okay, Leo's post had 100 likes. Well, I had 50 likes. Okay, does that mean that more people like Leo? Do you know what I mean? That's not.
Yeah.
It's not exactly. It doesn't correlate exactly. You know what I mean?
With that stuff, it's and this is the problem I think with that social media has. This is where the good and the bad is, and with social media is that there's so much information being thrown at you like every single second, right? And it's just the connectivity of it all, right? Everyone's in like a tap away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I get a text message on my phone. It's right here.
You could literally be in Japan right now. I could text you. We could have a conversation. It'd be like you never left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like when people ask me like, oh, if I go on vacation, it's like, are you gonna miss me when I go on vacation? No.
Yeah.
Like just straight up, like, sorry, I don't miss anybody because it's like you're right here. You know what I mean? As cold as that might sound, but you know what I mean. Like we've come to the point where we're just so connected. But going back to what you were saying with like this whole narcissistic and popularity thing, I think that's just the way people process and just accepted social media. I was just recently just going through like, you know, what am I actually looking, because I reactivated my Twitter. I haven't been on it for a while. And just even like my Instagram too. I'm like, okay, these are the accounts I'm following, right? Do I really care to see this information? What am I getting from this information? And I'm like, okay, unfollow that, follow this because I need this information. You know, this is what's going to benefit me, right? Yeah, I'm tired of like, to be honest.
Do you think in a way it's like it portrays superficiality with celebrities and stuff like that?
With celebrities, it all depends. That's a really vague question, just because it depends on how people perceive that, right?
Yeah, because if we see someone smiling and you know they're posting happy things, that's not realistic. And I think that if for someone more impressionable, they might think, well, this person has met all these people and they're happy and they're
I was talking to this one girl, and she was saying she wanted to be like one of the Kardashians, and I'm like, well, like this is the thing, this predisposition that we have on the Kardashians, but more importantly, and not even like looking at them as these people that, let's say, in a class of they are wealthy individuals. I was thinking to myself, why would this girl want to be that person, right? Yeah. Why would you want to be just somebody else other than yourself? Do you know what I mean? And is it just because, like, is it social media just twisting your head to say, like, this person's happy, and that way if you want to be happy, you got to do what this person has done, right? And well, that's on that person, the way they're processing, you know, that information, right? And you know, a lot of people just got to decompress and just take some time to just get rid of the apps and then come back to it. You know what? Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. You keep going. You keep going. Okay. And honestly, I recommend people just take a week if you can, or a few days to delete the app and whatever, and just decompress. Like I had like every kind of social media you can think of, like from everything down to like Kick. Do you know what Kick is?
No.
It's a messaging app,
Wow.
right? Like different like text messaging. Kind of thing.
Kick, yeah. K-I-K?
Yeah, so I had that. Get rid of that stupid shit.
Yeah.
I had Snapchat, and I was addicted to Snapchat.
Yeah, I don't even use Snapchat
Yeah.
anymore.
I love that app. And then afterwards, I read a buddy of mine posted like, I'm gonna get off this app, and I'm like, you know what? Like that's good. Like good for you, man. And I'm like you know what? Me too. Like fuck this. Like it's really just been taking over my life because I've just been so involved in like what other people are doing. Not like like that. Not like I just don't care about these people, but like I care about them. But to the point where I want to know what's going on over here and not focusing on my own goals and aspirations.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I got rid of it. So I got rid of that app and never looked back. Sometimes I peek on it every now and then, and I realize, okay, this is the reason why I got rid of it.
Yeah,
get rid of it again. I want to get rid of Instagram. I want to get rid of Facebook. I want to get rid of like Twitter and stuff like that.
Sure.
On Android, for whatever reason, you can't delete the app because there's actually no reason. Yeah, you can't delete it. Like you can, like the icon will still be there.
Shit.
Yeah, but unfortunately, in the industry that I'm in, I need Facebook.
Yeah.
I need Facebook to stay connected to people because a job might be posted, and and people might recommend me, right? And then it's like it's an instant thing of like, oh, are you in or you out? It's kind of like a fishing, like, are you biting or are you not? Right?
Yeah.
If I had a choice to live without the apps, I would choose not to live with it.
Yeah.
Well,
I heard like if you're addicted to social media, which I think I am, apparently it produces the same receptors in the brain when you get like a euphoria rush from doing heroin. That's interesting.
It is interesting because it's that little ding positive kind of thing. Anything with it is a positive thing, right? And and as humans, we like numbers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's you see numbers in your bank account go up. Like, oh yeah, it makes me feel good. You see numbers in your likes go up. Oh, all right, that makes me feel good. And it's that little,
it's like a validation thing.
Yeah, and it's just stuff that's just integrated, right? It's this validation thing, but people got to just take time, step back, and just realize it doesn't mean shit.
Yeah,
it doesn't. It does.
It's sort of like when you get grades in school. Like, does it matter if you get the actual degree, or does it matter what you get in this class? Like, is that a test to your intelligence or to your worth as a person? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's all a process too. Like I think in a weird way, when you were saying this a little bit earlier, like comparing it to the Kardashians, Leo, it's kind of like social media's kind of become a reality show, in this sense, like you can see the Kardashians, right? You can see the Hills. I know the Hills is an old show, but like, so you think that's who they are, right? You think when they're on that camera, that's who they are in real life, but they're not. It's the camera's.
It's the fabrication.
It's the fabrication of it, and that's kind of social media too, right? Like, because ultimately, generally, you control what gets put on the camera or what gets put on your feed, generally. So there is a bit of fakeness too behind it. Now, I'm in public relations, so social media is very key in my field, in my career. So it's hard to kind of get a line of what's important, what's not important. But personally, there's a line like, be the change you want to see. Now, I think there's a lot of fakeness out in social media, and I think, Franco, you're pretty good at like being genuine for who you are. But I think Leo, you are at times too, especially for the most part because you have the podcast. But I like being a little bit different. I like sometimes I'll post the odd like long piece that I wrote about, let's say, Michael J. Fox, or me having 7 years with my ostomy bag, that kind of thing. You wouldn't generally see that too often. Well,
I think because you're making a difference in people's lives by posting that and helping them not feel so alone in their struggles.
Well, I hope I am. I hope I am, but I don't know for sure. Like, I hope I am. Like, and am I posting it partially for gratification, or people saying like, oh, it really inspired me? I mean, I guess partially. Let's be honest, everyone likes compliments, but also too, I mean, look, everyone struggles. Like you were saying, Franco, I think you were saying something like people are smiling, you think that person's always happy all the time in pictures, but it's not exactly the case, right?
No.
So, and that's why I think
So it portrays a facade of something that doesn't exist.
Yeah, and that's why I think social media, where it's lacking right now, is that there's a lack of realness, or even the realness is not exactly at the forefront at some points, right? So I think that's why I want to try and be more present, more realistic. You know what I mean? And be silly online, because I'm a silly guy. I have this podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just creating that that genuine, personification of your own self. You know what I mean? Like, this is me. This is what I'm putting out. But sorry, Franco. It was also just like how you're accepting the information too, right?
Yeah.
And yeah.
I think we live in a world that insists on changing. So, discussions, discourse have to be shifted a little bit.
And with the introduction of social media is I think a huge milestone in just communication, as comparable to, say, the telephone. You know what I mean? Telephone got introduced whatever groundbreaking thing, which is be able to connect people. Because before it was just letters, right?
Yeah.
Now you can call people and you actually hear their voice. Now with social media, now you can see people. You can you can get information from them through text, through voice, through video chat, whatever, right? Through just any kind of information that's just being outputted, right?
Yeah.
Like, I remember a time where a hashtag was only the pound key on the phone or a number sign.
Right.
So
yeah, I remember that time too, vaguely, but it's it's.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's just it's not the pound sign anymore. And if and I've heard people say oh, the hashtag thing on the phone, no, that's the pound sign.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah.
But it's just a change that we're getting in it's just a changing part of the world where it'll iron itself out in the next few years. It's just that we're now in this growing phase, right? Yeah. Where people are just trying to make do with what it's wow, there's all this stuff being thrown at me.
I think it's getting like you were saying earlier, Leo. It's like information overload, so people are having a hard time processing.
It's a high. It's a literally it's a high, because it's wow.
It's like getting your hit of heroin.
Yeah, I'm hearing from like you were saying, you connect to celebrities, and where, let's say, you flash back, let's say 10, 15 years ago, you'd only hear about them if you read about them in a magazine, or an interview, right?
Or an Entertainment Tonight.
Yeah, or some sort of television show or whatever, right? Where those people with a link to hearing about, let's say, you're the latest stars, where they're regarded as someone that's in a higher form or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But with social media, which is the only one positive, is that they've grounded these individuals to a certain degree, right? But like I said, there's a lot of information being thrown all at once, and people just got to do the due diligence and just saying, what is the information that I want to know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. All right, very good question, Franco. I really like the you're a very intellectual person, Franco.
Thank you.
That was actually, I had a very similar. I had not as detailed as Franco,
really?
Yeah, but I put a social media question in there, so I was like, yo,
nice. You're on the same wavelength.
Nice.
Maybe you guys are secretly brothers.
Plot twist.
Mom. Maybe we're all three brothers. That's it.
All three brothers. Fair enough. All right.
So that's all three topics.
All three topics.
Do you know what that means, Franco?
What?
We're off to the lightning round.
But first,
start the music.
There we go. I kind of said the but first, and I was gonna steal your line. I'm gonna be like, start the music. I'm like, no, it's Leo's line. I gotta.
Let me have that one little
the little blurb. What up? Yeah. All right, man. You want to ask Franco your first question?
Yeah, actually. And you know what? I'm surprised this didn't get implemented to any of the topics. But okay, so here, Franco. I like very situational lightning round questions. So this one's for you. We didn't talk about Y&R that much. I mean, as expected. So I don't know, because I know you're probably gonna say Y&R. But out of your favorite sitcoms, excluding Y&R, which one would you like to be a character on? Like, which one could you imagine you could be a character? Like,
I had something similar to this actually. I had. Yeah, sorry, go on.
I'm gonna say Sex in the City.
Sex in the City. Okay, why? And
what would your character do?
Would it just be you?
Yeah, well, I think that could be Carrie Bradshaw's best friend, Sarah Jessica Parker, because we have the same ideas about love. Like, she's in love with love, and she's all about the one. Like, she, for many years, she was involved with Mr. Big, Chris Noth, and Aiden. Like, Aiden Shaw. She went back and forth between them, but no one came close to Big. So I like in that sense, I do feel like there is the one for people. So I relate to her on that. And also she started out the series as being a Vice columnist, like for sex. She wrote her friends Charlotte, Miranda, and Samantha were like her inspiration. Like she calls them her meal ticket. So she wrote about their sex lives as well. And the first episode, in fact, was their goal was to have sex like men. So like with the show sort of broke the barriers, because if men conduct themselves in a sexually indiscriminate way, no one judges them. But if it's a woman, then she's a bitch, and then she's a slut. So they wanted to challenge those notions. So I think, SJP really, started a conversation about women and female empowerment in that sense. Being in love with, romance and whatever, I think that, she was like a little girl in that sense.
But what would your character do? So how would
I would be like her best friend, like not Stanford.
What would you do? What would you do? Like, what would you do in the show? Would you be an advice
I'd be like
columnist?
a better best friend than Stanford Blatch.
Okay,
was.
well, yeah, but for reference for people who I've never seen the show.
I haven't.
So like try and like what would you do? Like, would you be an advice columnist too? What would your character? What would they do? Kind of interact with the other characters in the show.
The sky's the limit.
I'd like to be her personal assistant, and also because like she was known in the celebrity world, like Carrie Bradshaw was known in the celebrity world as writing about love and things like that, and I feel like she could have been a mentor as well, not like in both professional and personal realms.
So you help her get there, kind of thing.
No, like I would be her protege kind of thing. So I could learn a lot from her.
Okay.
Like Jennifer Hudson was her personal assistant in the first Sex and the City movie, like after Big jilted her at the altar. And she had the same kind of concept. Like she went to New York to find love as Carrie did. So, I think they sort of, she was like a role model for Jennifer Hudson's character, Louise from St. Louis. I feel like there was a lot to learn, and I could sort of, if putting myself in a fictional setting with Carrie Bradshaw, I feel like she could, I could learn a lot from her from a friendship perspective.
Because you're a writer too, right, Franco?
Yes. Yeah, that's why I relate to her too. I was gonna get to that. Yeah.
So how you think it would improve your writing skills as well?
Yes.
Because you write kind of like that, but you also write a little bit like people have seen Desperate Housewives.
Mary Alice, the narrator.
Kind of like the mix between those two.
Yeah.
So you think just being in her presence, your writing skills would be more improved, right?
Yes, I feel like she could, she could help me become a better writer.
Fair enough. That's cool, Franco.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Yo, that was intense. I felt like I was part of the world of like Sex and the City.
Yeah.
Now I gotta watch an episode just to figure out, okay, like who's Franco talking?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like I know this, like I know the show. Like I remember, like when I was a young kid, and it used to be like on television. I'm pretty sure like my mom used to watch a couple episods here and there.
Not with you in the room. Leo, get out of the room.
Yeah,
Leo.
basically that was. I was like, what, Mom, what are you watching? Shit, get out of here.
and then 15 years later, she finds your condom.
God damn it.
And I could relate to a scene in the Sex and the City movie when Carrie, after Big dumps her, she dumps her blonde hair and she becomes brunette, and then she meets Jennifer Hudson in the Starbucks, and then she said, "Oh, my head is in the witness protection program." So, yeah,
Cool.
And then she's like, "I feel it," you know. Jennifer Hudson.
All right. Cool,
I dig that. I dig it. I dig
All
it.
right, Franco. Actually, my question for you, but I'll save it. Was if you could be a character in Wine Armor, what character would you be? But since you
I
kind
can answer that.
No, okay. How about you very briefly talk about that? Just because
You have the
I have another one that's kind of
Michael had
different.
3 lightning
I
round.
had three in case one of them was picked. So if you could be a character in Wine Armor, what would it be? But just try and be brief.
I have to say it would be a female, but I identify as LGBT. I would have to say Sharon Newman.
So
people
why
know
her?
people know like that. People associate with Sharon with me because they know that my fellow YNR fans know that I love Sharon. Sharon, the character, she's portrayed by Sharon Case, but Sharon Newman, the fictional character, has bipolar disorder, and she was diagnosed about maybe 6 years ago. And over the course of the 6 years, we've seen her struggle with getting off her meds, and in her personal life, she made some very unfortunate choices, like burning down her in-laws' ranch.
Jesus Christ!
What the
switching-
fuck? That happens on YNR?
Yeah.
Really? I thought it
Switching
was like...
paternity tests.
Fuck.
So things like that. But
Holy
in the
shit.
last maybe 2-3 years, she's really turned her life around. She went back to school. She studied clinical psychology with an emphasis on social work. She got her kids back. She, whether she'll reunite with Nick at a wedding next week is still up for debate because of secrets that she doesn't know about, and she's also keeping secrets. But I feel like she really turned her life around, and she made a success of it by relating to people who have mental health issues.
Okay, cool. All right,
Yeah,
I dig it.
by the time this episode airs, we'll have an answer on that wedding.
Yeah,
I
probably.
think.
Will Nick and Sharon get married, or will Sharon find out about Nick and Phyllis?
Find out next time in the next exciting episode of Young and the Restless.
Okay, now my real question for you, Franco. One celebrity you'd like to spend the entire day with. Try and say something that you haven't said before, at least on the episode. I mean. And what would you do with them?
Bruh,
Why?
This is too much power for one man.
I know. Franco has the Rolodex.
I'm so glad you didn't ask me this question ever.
Well, how about Britney Spears? You love Britney Spears.
No, but I wouldn't spend a day with her.
That's a good choice. That's a smart. You're a smart man. Can you imagine?
I feel like that'd be like a lot of cocaine and shit. Terry Hatcher.
She just comes out and like,
No.
he's thinking about it, but imagine just Britney Spears, like, hey Britney, and she just comes out in her lingerie. It's Britney, bitch.
Well, I'd love to meet her someday. I don't know. Like, sorry, this is kind of, yeah. I don't know.
Your favorite actresses? Favorite actor?
Well, okay, I'll answer this way. Since I am a YNR fan, if you're in Toronto, every December they have the Kate Linder Tea at the Fairmont at Union and Front Streets, and you usually get about 5 actors from the Young and the Restless, and they do an event and a meet and greet after the event, and you get 5. Usually Kate Linder, who plays Esther, and Christian LeBlanc, who plays Michael Baldwin, they usually come every year, and the other 3 actors are different. So if I had to choose, I would choose the 5 that come every year, because they have
cheater.
different.
You
They
cheater,
have like
Franco.
events that are private. They're a private dinner and a
I
private.
said 1 and you went for 5.
Found a loophole.
You
man.
find a loophole, you asshole. Okay, sorry.
And they do like different like events, like tourist attractions in Toronto, and I think that I'd like to socialize with them, not
beer.
with everybody there, but like it would be nice to spend a day with them and
Cool.
to get to know them better as people and as their not their personas, they're not their characters on the Young Wrestlers, but as actors, because I've met so many celebrities at this point that I feel like I don't see them as walking on water. I see them as real people just like us. They're just on TV or they're just in movies, and we're not. So, we're all human beings, and it would be interesting to find out, get to know them more one-on-one.
Cool. All right, Franco. I'm a little bit offended that you lied and you changed my question, Franco. You jerk. You jerk.
I can't believe it.
Can't believe it.
But
Franco.
he played you, Michael.
You played me, Franco. You played me.
That's a 10 years experience.
I know. It all makes sense now. But okay. Anyway, I'm still a little bit pissed off. People say that I look older than you, Franco.
Well, one, it's the beard. Two, you gotta.
It's the stunning good looks, right? I'm just kidding. You have stunning good looks too, Franco. It's the rugged looks.
Man, it's
the Harrison Ford, Jake Gyllenhaal look, isn't it? Listen, good people.
I'm out of here, bye. Oh man, you gotta just get some lotion or some shit, man. Cocoa butter.
I think it's also like personality comes across as well. Like it's different things.
Franco's got more bounce.
Yeah, that's right.
Or I think people would describe me as being very naive, and I think that comes across.
No.
Yeah,
Not at all. No.
You know what? Leo's gonna need some lotion for his face after I slap it. You want to sign us off, man?
Yeah, buddy. Franco, thank you so much for being on today's show.
It's been a pleasure, and it was really fun.
I was gonna ask him, like, did you have fun? And it's just like,
fun.
yeah, I was. Honestly, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I'm glad, and Michael's glad that we finally got to actually have you on the show. I know you've been keeping up with all the episodes and listening to it. Actually,
I'll go on anytime you need me.
Absolutely, and we're gonna call you back. But it's actually kind of funny. It's just bringing it back to actually episode 1. I remember Michael's telling me. It's like, oh, Franco said that the first episode sounds like Sex in the City.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah. He did say that.
So now we have to officially clock in at least one episode.
I think you both qualified as Samantha Jones, played by the Canadian actress Kim Cattrall.
Isn't she a little bit of doesn't she like to sleep around a little bit, Franco?
So do you two.
I'm in a relationship. I'm with Lisa. What are you talking about?
Michael is a committed man. But
what committed man?
What's her name?
Samantha Jones.
Samantha Jones. That's my spirit animal right there.
That's Leo's spirit animal.
I'm just kidding.
Fuck boy. Evolved.
Doon, doon, like the Pokemon. Like doon, doon, doon.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Hat Trick Podcast with Mike and Leo. We appreciate you guys just listening in, and hopefully you enjoyed Franco on this episode. If you want to check out Franco's stuff, like I said earlier in the intro of the podcast, he's like a super active on all social media accounts, but you can catch him on Instagram and Twitter. His Instagram is FrancoNac85, so that's FrancoNac 85. So if you want to catch up on anything YNR related, his social media and his personality and all that cool stuff that Franco has to offer, follow him there. Also check him out on Twitter. For more Franco, that's Franco CNAC. So that's Franco CNAC on Twitter. And now for us, if you haven't followed us already, you can follow us on Twitter at Trick Podcast. That's Trick and Podcast. And you can follow us on our personal accounts for Michael, it's Mike DNAC. That's MikeDNAC. And you can follow me at DeLeo. That's DI_LEO. Also check us out on Instagram at Hat Trick Podcast. And also make sure you send us some love and a like on our Facebook page, which is Hat Trick Podcast with Mike and Leo. Look for the blue hat with the white logo and the white lettering. And we love you a very long time. Thank you so much for listening to this episode.
Have a good night.
Well, that's right. Well, just want to thank you, Franco, for being on. Thank you, my brother.
Oh.
And thank you, Leo, my other brother.
It was fun. It was a blast.
That's right.
It was very fun, Franco. And honestly, those your topics, very, very thought provoking. I needed a lot more caffeine because I'm like, it's like, man, my brain was going into overdrive.
Yeah,
real talk.
Actually, real talk. And with that, I'm gonna just say goodnight. So have a good night, everybody.
Okay, have a good night.